Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground is brought to you by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Common Ground is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. Hi, and welcome to Common Ground. I'm your host, Ashley Hall. Common Ground captures the creative process of various artists living throughout our region. Each week, we delve into the veiled history of our area, plus we take you inside the cultural events that put the North in North Country. On this week's episode of Common Ground, cruise along with us on the first City of Art studio cruise. Karen Haberle of Bigfork throws pottery. We visit the Crosby Historical Society, and a poet from Little Falls, Laura Hansen, recites a poem for us.
Greetings, I'm Al Beliveau, and this is my studio, and today is the Studio Cruise. It's a very exciting event that happens every year in the fall. I'm welding stuff, and other people are welding stuff, and we're heating up iron, and we're beating on things and cutting things out and enjoying the wonderful sunshine. This is perhaps the best weather that we've had in the 3 years that we've done the Studio Cruise. I think people want to know what we're up to because quite often we're out here cloistered in our little hovels, working away on our little art, turning imagination into physical reality. And I think people go, what are those crazy artists up to? And this way they get to come out, and you here at Al's place, you even get to grab a hold of some of the implements of destruction that we utilize for our creative process and make things yourself. And you can see just how cool it really is. So get right up close to the metal. You can lay it right on there and then go slow.
First hole.
There you go. See? It's not that dangerous. Did you want to try too?
No.
Well, you sure? It's not too scary.
Awesome melody.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Hi, I'm Pat Shuck, and I am a watercolor artist. I also do acrylics, and I teach watercolor here in my studio. And today and this weekend, I'm taking part in the Studio Art Cruise. And this is one of my paintings. This is an acrylic that I did with a palette knife, and it's been a very popular painting of mine. I'm opening my studio up today for the Studio Art Cruise, of which you can see there are a lot of people here today. I'm showing people and introducing them to my students' artwork. I do teach watercolor to beginning watercolor students. I think it's important because all the people can come and see all the creativity that this community has, and they can get involved in it. And not only in my studio can they take classes, they can go to other artist studios and sign up and take classes and get to know other artists and enjoy their work.
I'm Alice Strand, and I make little fabric animals, and today we're part of the First City of Art Studio Cruise. I have been doing this approximately 35 years. I started out doing larger animals, and they just kept getting smaller and smaller. This is one of the more natural ones that I do, the realistic ones. I guess the way of getting the feathers to work was quite a challenge. It's actually a very simple technique, but it took me forever to figure out how to do that. And the little landscapes I really have fun doing these. They're all made of thread and stuffed rocks. Here's one of my tiny little bunnies with a tiny potato. As you can see, he's about an inch high. And this one's pretty much all hand stitched.
Nice. Hi, I'm Maureen O'Brien, and welcome to my little farm studio, which is different than many artists. And as I've grown older, I've expanded the studio, thinking instead of doing shows that I've been doing for 42 years, maybe people will start coming to me. This is the first year I've been part of the Studio Cruise, so I'm excited. It made me clean my studio a bit. I think it's just to make people aware of how many incredible creative people there are around Bemidji.
My name is Paula Swenson, and I'm a contemporary painter. Sometimes I paint actual places that I've photographed. For instance, this center painting is on Seven Bridges Road of the Leicester River just north of Duluth. Sometimes I just paint what's around me, and sometimes I paint what I'm thinking about. Everybody's just been saying what a wonderful time they've been having, and a lot of out-of-town people. People from the Twin Cities, people from Fargo. So interest is picking up year after year.
The history of the Cuyuna Iron Range started with Kyler Adams finding iron ore in and around the vicinity here. And that was in the late 1800s, about 1892. He then got together some people that had some money and figured out where they were going to have iron ore mines and where they found the good ore and the bad ore. Along with that, when that happened, a guy by the name of George Crosby had been up on the other iron ranges and saw how bad the people were living and the conditions were so bad. So he went ahead and laid out the city of Crosby, which was named for him, with all the streets and the sidewalks, water, sewer, and electricity. And you can see what used to be known as Honeymoon Row. They're a small house that the miners could go ahead and either buy or rent. And they'd have enough room for a small family. The lot would be big enough where they could go ahead and have a garden or have a cow or a pig in their backyard or whatever. And as things progressed, in 1910, the Sioux Line Railroad came in here to haul the iron ore out. And at that time, they built the depot that we're sitting in. This depot was built in 1910, and now it's 100 years old. The only thing it's ever been is a railroad depot or a museum. It's on the National History of Historic Buildings, so it can't be altered or changed too terribly much at all. And we are still, the heritage part of it, is still writing a lot of, if nothing else, small books pertaining to the history of the Cuyuna Iron Range and other projects that we've had going on. The reason why the depot was so important here and the railroads, the general highways and roadways were very poor at that time. There were very few cars and trucks, and so everything had to go out by rail or come in by rail. The mine companies would go ahead and have people standing on the shore of Lake Superior where the immigrant boats would come in, and they'd have a big sign that would say, you know, they've got work. Mine companies would actually pay the railroad to transport them from Superior, Wisconsin, over to Crosby, where they then went ahead and went to work for the mines. People came from all over Europe, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and that's what basically made up the people in the city of Crosby on the Cuyuna Iron Range. The iron ore was first found middle 1890s. And when it started into production, it was a good rich ore, and they had an easy transportation by railroad from here to Lake Superior, to city of Superior and Duluth, to haul the iron ore out and back over to the East Coast where they would, you know, smelt it down and whatever. It started out with a few small underground mines, and it eventually turned into a lot of open pit mines. Some of those are as much as 400 feet deep. Now they're filled with water and they're lakes, and they will probably never ever be mining that type of mining up here again. The Cuyuna Country Heritage was an organization that was basically into keeping up with history. Basically, it's trying to maintain the town itself. We've had a number of different industries in here. Scorpion Snowmobile was built up here. It adds to the celebration of the town. And, you know, the different businesses that have put forth a good effort to go ahead and maintain and celebrate the fact that the city of Crosby is 100 years old. The Cuyuna Country Heritage took over the Sioux Line Depot Museum as part of our historical society. And that is how the Heritage Group became involved with the Sioux Line Depot. Being able to go ahead and move some things around in here and clean things up and make it a very pleasant atmosphere for people to come in and see. We have a number of interesting items in here. One of them, that was kind of a project, how I got involved with it, was Project Man High, the first man to the edge of space. And the Cuyuna Country Heritage went ahead and had an individual that was an artist duplicate the capsule that Dr. David Simons was in when he left the bottom of the Portsmouth mine, which was about 400 feet deep at that time, and rose to 101,000 feet above the earth and was up there for 32 hours before successfully coming back down again. The capsule is about 3 feet in diameter and about 7 feet tall, and it was hooked onto a plastic balloon that was 280 feet long and contained 3 million cubic feet of helium. And so that's one of the new things that we've put in here. In 2007, it was the 50th anniversary of the Man High project. And so we had a celebration, and Dr. Simons was still alive, and he came up here for it. But we have so many other items in here that are very noteworthy. We have Kyler Adams' rock collection. We have a lot of iron ore samples that were obtained from the assayers' offices when the mines closed up and were no longer in business.
This is Kyler Adams' rock collection. He was a big rock hound, and minerals, you know. They're from all over the world. And a lot of them from Germany and England and Brazil, Austria. Now this is his dip needle. The dip needle he used when he discovered the ore. It was like a big compass. You know, he held it down like this, and then when it pointed downward, magnetic. So he knew there was something down there. Then they knew where to drill, see? Otherwise you wouldn't know where to drill. And Matt Crosby had two of them too, we got here over here. We've got a little of everything, I guess, in here. Now this is Crosby in 1913. First building was erected in 1910. And this shows, I think it's from the water tower. It's heading pretty much west in this picture. And the main highway, Highway 210, would be along here, going past the Spalding Hotel and over this way. And this is Ironton over here. I think it might be about the same time. The old high school. And the depot was over here. And the city hall would be right in here. City hall. And we had an old railroad line that went through there.
By having the museum and the Heritage Group, we work very hard at trying to preserve what's here and document what happened in and around this area. You take a look around, and the heritage of the people that grew up here and lived here with the multinationalities. And if you don't have people that are still here and their kids grow up here and stay here, your town withers and dies. And pretty soon you're running a bulldozer through all the very historic buildings that are still in town. And we still have a number of buildings that go back to the very early 1900s. And the buildings are preserved like our depot is. It's 100 years old, and it don't look too bad. And it's, you know, something that's well worth celebrating.
This process is called wedging, and I get mine into Hershey Kiss shape. You want a flat bottom, and the reason I pound it down is so the bottom is smooth. I have two or three different kinds of clay that I use: a white stoneware, a gray stoneware, and a red stoneware. And I keep them separated in the studio so they don't, you know, contaminate one another. And so it's in bags. The clay is in bags, and if you're using from a new bag, you don't have to usually wedge, but the clay that I picked up here is older clay reclaimed. That means all the water was taken out, and I have to wedge this a little bit before I sit down and throw with it, so all the particles are in place. And I use what we call bats so that when the piece is finished, you can just lift it up from the wheel. But I want it on there without any wiggle. Throw it on the wheel, and you wet your hands and start. I was a very slow learner. Some people get it right away, but for me it was a hard process. I think the best lesson to learn is not to let the clay control your hands. You try to control the clay. There's no wrong way. But when you teach, you have to teach how you know, and then from there, people develop their own styles. I've seen many people do the same thing. It's just a matter of using a left thumb versus a right thumb, different fingers, knuckles. It seems like no matter what people use, if they're used to throwing, know what they're doing, it all eventually becomes a pot. I'm kind of a obsessive cleaner. I like everything, my hands. I don't like the clay on my hands. I don't like the clay on the wheel, so I'm always using that sponge. I'm more of what you would call a utilitarian potter. I like to make things that people can use in their homes: bowls, casseroles, cups, plates, serving dishes. Once in a while I get a little fancy and I'll make something that's just for display. Most of the time when I sit down at the wheel, I've got an idea of what the shape is going to be of the item that I'm throwing. This one just kind of happened. It's a bowl. And this knife also has a history. It was my knife that I started with in 1976, and here it is, useful still. Now I'll use the same clay for the hand building. What I'm getting ready for here is a hand-built piece that I started doing back in the day when I was teaching in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. At that time, I wasn't even sure I could send her a pot yet, but teaching helps you learn how to do things better. I want them to become just what they want to be. I like them odd shaped, and I will put a design into this one. And potters are notorious for picking up many odd things off the street from our grocery stores. These happen to be pop containers, you know, when you buy the 6-pack. But I found it makes a really cool design in the clay. I use a colorant called iron oxide, which shows the raw clay, but in a darker color than the clay is when it's fired. And then to get its shape, pick it up and arrange it on a simple cardboard tube. This one happens to be covered with an old nylon, but any cloth will work. And you want the cloth so it doesn't stick. And then it becomes that shape. This will take till overnight for this to become stiff and stiff enough to take it off and either smooth an edge that might be rough or for me to sign it on the back. So that'll take until tomorrow morning. And then it takes about, if it's warm down here, about 4 days for it to dry. Sometimes when I want to get a kiln load in and I don't have a lot of time, because I'm a procrastinator, I take things up to the our stove in the living room, our wood stove, and that dries things out just wonderfully. You bisque an item first, they turn pink, and then after they're out of the kiln for the first time, you glaze them and do the process all over again. Although that's a little bit longer. The glaze firing is longer than the bisque. Then they're ready for the glazing. And these are 3 different ones that I've done with different designs. Fishies in the water, just a random design that I have carved on a piece of bisqueware. And they're a useful item, but they're a little different and decorative too. I think a lot of my inspiration comes from nature. I love nature. And I see a lot of natural things in my pottery. I love being a part of the Edge of the Wilderness Artists League. It's been a blessing for me. The art world up here is so much more than I thought it would be when I came to live up here. I wasn't aware from 1984 until 2001 what was out there and available in our particular little area. I had no plan. I still have no plan. I'm just happy just doing what I'm doing now. I don't need to do any more. Just continue on.
Understand these things. A poem is a memoir in miniature, 1 second, 2 hours, 3 days, framed in a page. A minute's detail takes 24 lines to describe. The second hand slides by, the pen scratches across the page. Will the children of the digital understand the hand passing? Will they hear the clock ticking? In my memoir, nothing glows green. Illumination is not LED but moon, and willow branches squeak in the wind, dry brushing a faint screen of antique gold against the royal blue sky. Will they understand all these old things and ancient ideas, the second hand moving, the clock ticking, the need for a poem?
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you next week right here on Common Ground. If you have a segment idea for Common Ground pertaining to North Central Minnesota, contact us at legacy@lptv.org or call us at 218-333-3022. To view this episode or any Common Ground segment, visit us at lptv.org/Common Ground. Individual segments or copies of Common Ground, please call 218-333-3020. Common Ground is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. If you enjoyed this segment of Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground, consider making a contribution at lptv.org. If you have segment ideas pertaining to North Central Minnesota, contact us at legacy@lptv.org. Common Ground is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund by the vote of the people on November 4th, 2008.